Namaskar. Today there is not much going on in Karthik Gopinath's case because it is weekend, but I thought I will regale you with a story that happened in the 90s. And I picked up the story from this excellent book written by the wife of Dr. Subramanian Swamy, Roxna Swamy. And the title reads, Evolving with Subramanian Swamy, a roller coaster ride. Now I'm going to go to, by the book, you will read it like a James Bond thriller, wonderfully written. And I'm going to go to page 200, nice round number, 200. So it was 18 June 1993. Dr. Swamy and Mrs. Swamy were in Chennai to attend a wedding, and also Dr. Swamy had a day in the court. He was going to a principal sessions court in the premises of the Madras High Court. So in the Madras High Court, there's a sessions court also. So there was a case there. So I'm just going to read a few lines here so you can understand what happened that day. I was in Madras to attend a family wedding and I accompanied Swamy to court. And what I saw there made my blood run cold. The hostile crowd actually invaded the courtroom of the principal sessions judge, Chennai, in the High Court premises, and it was so violent that the principal sessions judge dropped hearing the case and instead make us take refuge in his chambers. And from there, along with our security and two dear friends, the Motilals, we fled by back routes in the court premises to the car and on to the airport. Now, they had come there to attend a wedding. So the idea initially was that they would, have their day in the court, then go, freshen up at their friends Motilals and go for this family wedding dinner. And after dinner, take the night flight to Delhi. Now, what happened was Jayalalitha wanted him to be arrested. Here you have a Tom and Jerry like situation. They are going, through the back streets of Chennai, and the police is trying to trace them. So they finally make it to the Chennai airport. And in the Chennai airport, they see that there is only one flight headed out of Chennai airport because they want to get out of Chennai. And that was headed for Bengaluru. That time it was called, I think, Bangalore. It doesn't matter, right? So they get into this plane and then, the flight takes off. So one of their friends is actually the co-pilot. And Dr. Swamy is going and talking to the co-pilot, and then over the air traffic control, the co-pilot gets a message to turn around and land back in Chennai. Jayalalitha was waiting with police. Can you believe this? Air traffic control is run by the central government. I think that's what it is, unless that is wrong, because there was another movie about some other thing where they make a big deal about this. That's why I'm thinking it is run by Central. But Madam Jayalalitha prevailed and got the plane diverted back just before it was going to enter into Bengaluru airport airspace. So the plane turns around and it comes back, and because the pilot had announced that there was a technical problem and that they had to land back in Chennai, he said that be prepared to go down to the ground on the chute. So there is something called as an emergency chute that opens up. When you travel in plane, you will see that emergency exit, and you open that, there is a chute. You just slide down that and down to the ground. Anyway, so what they told was everybody leave their bags and everything else in the plane, and you just get out of the plane when it lands. So Mrs. Swamy had a lot of jewelry that she had packed for the wedding. And now they had to, leave the plane in a hurry. And they knew what was coming. Dr. Swamy and Mrs. Swamy knew that most likely Jayalalitha would arrest them. So because of this, by the time it had become dark, and when they landed in Chennai airport, there was no police on the tarmac to arrest them. Those days there were no concourses. I mean, you just had to get down, and then you walk to the airport building. Now, it was dark at night, no police was in sight, so they just quietly went and took refuge in one of those waiting rooms. And then they needed to get out of there. So then they found out that there was one last flight headed for Delhi. It was from Singapore. It had just landed in Chennai and it was going to disembark and then continue on to Delhi. So the Motilals, great friends of the Swamis, bought them 2 tickets and they reached Delhi that night at 2 a.m. So Karthik Gopinath should not feel too bad that the Chennai police is doing all sorts of falsehoods on him. This has happened to some of the best and the brightest. Of course, Dr. Swamy got his revenge. He had Jayalalitha jailed for disproportionate assets. But this is again dharma. Dharma prevails, but it takes some time. And luckily for Mrs. Swamy, the jewelry actually arrived after 4 days, thanks to the efforts of a long-time friend of Dr. Swamy, 𝗤𝙧𝙤𝙬. The jewelry went from Chennai to Mumbai and from Mumbai to Delhi. But anyway, everything arrived safe and sound. My point in saying all this is, it is high time the judiciary started behaving. And I'm sure that now people's blood is boiling. We're going to start seeing some things where the judiciary will be forced to do what it is supposed to do, render justice in a timely manner. This is something that has become way too long now in India. And I mean, if it doesn't do this thing, come on now, 8 years of rule of Modi government with an absolute majority and they can't clean up the judiciary. Anyway, this is an aside. I just wanted to share this story with you, and please don't forget to read this book. Fantastic writing by Mrs. Roxna Swamy, and it's a great read. I've been reading this. I'm going to share one more story in a few days on a different matter, but it was so good that I thought I should share it with you. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and do not forget to click on the bell button. Namaskar.